Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns' WWE career is filled with several iconic moments as the original Tribal Chief became the face of the promotion under the old regime. However, he has his fair share of regrets and recently revealed the biggest mistake of his career. In 2020, Roman Reigns did the unthinkable and allowed Paul Heyman to become his manager in the Stamford-based promotion. The WWE Hall of Famer became the wise man and guided the original Tribal Chief in creating his own army and dominating the industry for years to come. However, Heyman turned his back on Reigns and aligned with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41 in Nevada. In a sit-down interview with Jackie Redmond, the 40-year-old WWE star revealed that including Paul Heyman in the bloodline was the biggest mistake of his career in the company, as he should have kept it within the family. And that's why, for me, I should have kept it simple. Should have kept it family only, bloodline only. People with the same blood coursing through the same veins. That was my biggest mistake, Reigns said. What's next for Roman Reigns following WWE Survivor Series 2025? Roman Reigns is set to enter War Games for the third time in his career, teaming up with some familiar faces and two past rivals in the Stamford-based promotion. However, the original Tribal Chief's real goal is to take down The Vision and Paul Heyman. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WON, Reigns was originally scheduled to face The Vision's Seth Rollins for the title in Nevada at WrestleMania 42. Unfortunately, those plans were changed once Rollins got injured at Crown Jewel in Perth and was removed from The Vision. Moreover, the management is reportedly going to set up a major match for WrestleMania 42 at this year's Survivor Series in San Diego, and the tease will take place between Reigns and Punk or Reigns and Rhodes for the respective titles on the main roster. For more than a decade, Roman Reigns has dominated the landscape of WWE. From his early days as the powerhouse of the Shield to his historic reign as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Reigns has evolved into one of the most compelling figures ever to step foot in the ring. His transformation into the Tribal Chief not only reshaped his trajectory but also redefined the modern era of professional wrestling. Yet despite the accolades, the records, and the undeniable legacy he's already cemented, Reigns recently admitted that his journey wasn't without regret. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he opened up about what he considers the biggest mistake of his WWE career. A champion known for control. Roman Reigns is a performer who thrives on control of his character, control of his message, and control of the ring. Since returning in 2020 with a new persona and a newfound voice, Reigns has meticulously crafted his narrative. But according to him, it took far too long to reach this point. His biggest mistake, he explains, was not trusting his instincts sooner. For years, I played the role that I thought the company needed me to play, Reigns reflects in the interview that sparked discussion among fans. I followed the blueprint. I did what I believed was expected. But deep down, I knew I had more to offer, and I waited too long to act on that. The era of the corporate hero. From 2014 to 2019, WWE positioned Roman as the face of the company, the heroic, resilient protagonist meant to lead the brand into a new era following John Cena's transition away from full-time competition. The intention was clear, but the execution was complicated. Fans pushed back, sometimes loudly. Reigns often found himself booed in arenas where most heroes would be celebrated, and despite his undeniable talent, the forced narrative created a disconnect. Looking back, Reigns describes this period as a necessary chapter, but one filled with missed opportunities. I don't regret the grind, and I don't regret the work. But I do regret silencing my own voice, he said. There were times when my instincts told me to speak up, to push for something different, but I stayed quiet because I thought that was the right thing to do. Finding his true identity. The turning point arrived during his 2020 return. While recovering and regrouping during the global pandemic, Reigns had time to reflect. When he finally came back, he wasn't interested in playing a character someone else wrote for him. He wanted to portray the character he had always envisioned, ruthless, charismatic, powerful, and authentic. That return delivered exactly that. The Tribal Chief was born. But the realization that it could have happened earlier, that it should have happened earlier, is the heart of the mistake he believes he made. I knew years before 2020 that I needed to evolve, Reigns explained. I felt boxed in creatively. I felt like I had a story the world needed to hear, but I didn't push hard enough to tell it. That's on me. That's the mistake. The importance of creative ownership. One of the secrets behind the success of the Tribal Chief era is Roman's involvement in every aspect of his character. From dialogue to facial expressions to storyline beats, Reigns is deeply involved, collaborating closely with WWE's creative team, but not relying solely on them. It's a partnership built on confidence and clarity. "I wasn't fully owning my career before," he said. "I showed up, I performed, I did the job. But owning it? That's something completely different. And once I took ownership, everything changed." This shift didn't just elevate Roman, it elevated WWE as a whole. Storylines involving the Bloodline became some of the most critically acclaimed in years. Characters like Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa were thrust into the spotlight. Even returning legends like John Cena and The Rock were woven into the narrative in powerful ways. Reigns' willingness to take creative risks and his refusal to be boxed into one-dimensional storytelling helped shape an era that fans and critics alike regard as one of the most compelling in modern wrestling history. Why trusting his instincts matters now more than ever. As Reigns reflects on what he describes as his most significant misstep, he emphasizes that it's not a regret rooted in bitterness but in growth. The mistake taught him a lesson he plans to carry far beyond his in-ring career. "I learned that no one knows your story better than you do," he said. "People can advise you, guide you, even push you, but you're the one who has to trust your instincts. Your vision matters." That message resonates not just with wrestlers, but with anyone trying to discover their identity, whether professionally or personally. The idea of letting external expectations shape your path is almost universal, and Reigns' admission offers a powerful reminder: growth often comes from reclaiming your narrative. A legacy still being written. At this point in his career, Roman Reigns has little left to prove. He has headlined WrestleMania multiple times, broken championship records, and become one of the industry's most marketable and respected figures. But his honesty about his own shortcomings adds an unexpected dimension to the persona fans see on screen. The tribal chief may be dominant, ruthless, and unapologetic in the ring, but the man behind the character is reflective, strategic, and deeply aware of his own evolution. His so-called biggest mistake, waiting too long to embrace his creativity, may very well be what fuels the next chapter of his legend. The road ahead. Whether Roman Reigns is approaching the twilight of his full-time run or preparing for another monumental storyline, one thing is clear: he is not a performer who takes his role lightly. With the lessons of his past guiding him, Reigns appears more confident, more motivated, and more in control than ever before. "The mistake doesn't define me," he says. "What defines me is what I learned from it, and how I move forward." For a man whose career has been built on power, presence, and precision, it's fitting that his greatest revelation is one of self-discovery. Roman Reigns may have taken longer than he wanted to find his voice, but now that he has it, he's not letting go.